Today I want to introduce you to a new lottery concept that was brought to me in the form of a project labeled as Infinite Lottery. So I did research this. I took a look at the Medium article. There was an AMA. I listened to a tidbit of it. And I want to lay down the structure of whatever they want to employ, of all the things they want to put forward, and all the things that they want to potentially deliver. If you are someone who wants to potentially participate in something like this and you came over to me and asked me, what is this? Just simplify this for me in a few words so I can understand what am I getting myself into, because the basic concept of a lottery is known to everyone. But in this case, they decided to play by their own rules and they added additional things that are, in my opinion, a bit more interesting. So to put it simply, the Infinite Lottery is a closed loop of several draws. Now, these draws are gonna take place at several levels. We're gonna start at level 1 and move our way up forward. And the interesting part here is that they stack up on top of each other, meaning you as a participant start at the beginning, but you're still gonna have a hand in all the additional layers or levels that come in afterwards. This means that whatever you start with at the beginning, whatever you purchased in the level 1 lottery draws, you're gonna have your foot in for all the upcoming levels. And this brings me to the rules and regulations that you should know if you wanna, participate in the lottery. Before talking about level 1, 2, 3, and what does that imply in practice, just know that at the beginning of it all, each ticket, so to participate in the lottery, you need to purchase a ticket, right? So one ticket is priced at 1 USDC. So they're using the USDC stablecoin. And you need at least 10 USDC to enter, aka 10 tickets. So that's your starting point. Now, all the entries are at the layer 1 level. So a person cannot just come in and participate in the level 2 draw or level 3, so on and so forth. All the participations start at level 1. So those, or this is the level where the entries are at, all right? And the level 1 draw begins once 1000 USDC have been accumulated. Meaning, before that price point, people can still purchase those tickets. Once that $1,000 hits, then the draw takes place, all right? So to understand the basics of how these levels are gonna operate, and starting from level 1 actually, because this is the baseline, this is the breakdown of all of this. So a level 1 lottery, like I said, once 1000 USDC has been accumulated, has the following breakdown, all right? Because it's not just your simple draw, winner, takes all, close the loop, start things off again. Because like I said, it's a succession of levels, and level 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth are the product of what happens in level 1, or how many level 1 draws, so to speak. Because the breakdown of 20%, starting off by 20%, is whatever you get at inception. And this is something that they decided to do. So if you invest $1,000, if you are the sole proprietor or the sole provider of the lottery, then you get 20% on the spot. That's your cash back, so to speak. 30% of that pot will be attributed to one winner. So in theory, the winner is gonna take 50% of whatever the pot is, meaning 1000 USDC. Now, 30% of that pot is gonna move over to level 2. And this is where the idea of successive levels comes in, because in order for level 2 to kick in at 6000 USDC, you'd need 20 level 1 draws. So 20 times 300, if 1000 is the draw for level 1, that's 6000 level 2 kicks in. Now 10% is gonna be set aside to be distributed for all the NFT holders in the form of dividends, because NFT minters have the privilege to take part of these draws without actually doing so, right? Because they're gonna take a small percentage, and the idea here is that those NFTs are gonna be held or minted through a pre-sale, but we're gonna talk about this a bit later. 5% is gonna go as referral bonuses to the referral of the winner. So if I refer someone who wins, I take 5% of the pot. Just me. You know? So me versus the winner. 3% is gonna go to the team, most probably for additional development and marketing. And then 2% is gonna be set aside for a weekly pot. And that weekly pot has its own rules and regulations. It's in the medium, but it's similar to this. But the winner is gonna take almost 70% of that pot. So it's a bit different, but more or less the same. The winner takes a bit more, or a lot more than 2x of whatever the winner takes in the normal draws. Now, like I said, the levels are intertwined, meaning they're gonna cascade on top of each other. And the breakdowns of these levels is similar to what I just described. So when you move on to level 2 after 20 level 1 draws, all right, then you break down similarly. Only one difference here is that you don't get 20%, back on the spot like the level 1 draw does, but there's a discount of 20% on these tickets, basically for additional participation. So for example, let's talk about this real quick because that's important. So if you are someone who entered with 100 tickets, so 100 tickets are attributed for the level 1 draw. Then when the level 2 draw happens, you get 20% of those tickets in the level 2 draw. So you have 20 tickets in level 2. Then 20% of those 20 tickets you get for the level 3 draw, which is 4 tickets. So on and so forth. So you get the point. So the more level 1 tickets, the more your 20% increases, meaning the more participation you're gonna have in level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And those levels increasingly are gonna have more prizes to win, meaning the money is being accumulated and people are gonna get more from these levels versus level 1. But it all starts at the level 1 layer. This is where it all begins. Now, in terms of overviews, this is a bit more complicated. I would agree if you are someone who's starting to look at this because of the infinite loop system and the way they have broken down all of this. This is just your initial idea of what this lottery is about. I really urge you to go and read the Medium article if you're someone who's interested in this. Now again, since this isn't derived by a token or a specific project, it's just pure lottery and speculation. It's something that I would roll out with, all right? So this is something that I think would make sense in that perspective. Now again, read the Medium article. They have a lot of information out there, additional information, and rewatch this video because, like I said, the percentages and everything included is not very straightforward. Now, one idea and one closing thought I want to have about this, in the idea of lotteries in crypto versus traditional lotteries, and why I think this is something that is a bit better than traditional lotteries, is that when it comes to taxes, traditional lotteries can take up to 37% of your winnings. And that is disregarding the idea of installments in regards to payments. If you take up front, that's even worse. Your discounted value will increase substantially. But then, if you're talking about a crypto lottery, you get your winnings upfront on the spot. And if you wanna tax them out using the capital gains tax system, a maximum of 30%, I think, in regards, on average, it's much less, but 30% I think is the most you can pay in any tax jurisdiction. Now, of course, there are tax havens, so on and so forth, but we're not gonna get into this, but it's just the idea of how things work right now, all right? Since people, in general, are comparing crypto to a lottery or crypto to gambling, why not take advantage of it, right? So that's just my closing thoughts on the whole idea of gambling in crypto and lotteries in crypto. So again, follow this through, read the Medium article. I'm surely gonna do a video follow-up on this. I'll also talk about the pre-sale of the NFTs when it's gonna be held, if you're somebody that's interested in this. And as usual, thank you if you sat through all of this. I know that a lot of information was covered today. So again, if you sat through all of this, thank you if you stuck around. See you in the next one. Have a good one.